Make no mistake about this, my friend. There is nothing out there in the external world that's gonna impact your future nearly as much as your own choices. It is not the president in the office. It is not the government. It is not some sort of law. It is not some sort of discrimination based on your age or your gender or your ethnicity. Nothing like that is gonna impact your life nearly as much as your own choices. Winners are gonna win regardless, and losers are gonna fucking lose. And so, whether you belong to the group of winners or the group of losers is determined by your choices you make and the actions that you follow through with. And so, what I want to do in this video is give you 6.5 questions to truly think about, and that help you get your thinking, your input to the next level so that you can come to better decision making. Because if you ask yourself the wrong questions, you're gonna get the wrong answers. If you ask better questions of yourself, you will get something that is way more productive and that helps you move forward in the right direction. So let's dive right into it. And if you like this video, give it a quick thumbs up. So the first question I have for you is, how would I achieve my 5-year goals in just 1 year? How would I do it? And by the way, for this question, it's not possible. That's not a valid answer. I want you to write it down and not let yourself off the hook until you have a solid answer. And so what this question is designed to do is the following. It's gonna help you break free from the trajectory thinking that we are programmed into by society. We are programmed into a very linear way of thinking. This question is designed to help you think outside of the box. And again, don't let yourself off the hook until you have an answer. The one caveat I'm gonna give you is the following. And that is, you also need patience. Because here's the thing. I'm gonna ask you how to shorten 5 years into 1. Is it always 100% possible? Not always, right? And so you still need to be patient enough to be consistent in your own actions. You need to be consistent in doing the work and not give up too soon. Like in my life, I wasted so much time in hindsight because I took action. I took action for 6 months and I'm like, well, this isn't working. And then if I had continued on with that path for like a year or a year and a half longer, it would have been successful. But I gave up way too soon and it kept me stuck in life for years. So ask this question, how can I do in 1 year that I plan to do in 5? But then at the same time, be perfectly fine for it to take 5 years. Be perfectly fine for that. Start defining your life's goals in years, or for the huge ones, in decades, rather than weeks and months. Okay, question number 2 then. And this one is designed to help you make difficult decisions better and arrive to more logical, more rational answers. Because our minds, we have a great capacity for thinking straight. We have a great capacity for logical arguments, for rationality. But at the same time, we are also highly emotional and we cannot really make decisions just like by separating our logic and our emotions. It's always part of us. And so this question is like designed to help you separate the two so that you can then combine them again into something that makes sense. So first of all, you want to logically evaluate the pros and the cons, and then you want to drag into who you are, your personality, your long-term vision, and those kinds of things based on emotion. And so in order to get that logical side of you down on paper, and by the way, one thing I will recommend here is to write things down. Because again, like you're constantly stuck inside of your own head, right? We are with our thoughts 24/7. And so sometimes the best thing you can do to make a decision is to take your thoughts and to write them all down on a piece of paper so that you're no longer inside of your own head, but you're looking at it like that, literally. Right? It's the same difference of looking at a map versus you being the one dot inside of a giant maze. Right? That's the difference it makes when you write things out, when you put things on paper, so that you can objectively look at the pros and the cons. And so that brings me to this question. What would an AI do in my current position, facing my same problems? And again, an AI would go through this logically. An AI doesn't have emotion. And so as you just imagine that you are just some robot, that helps you separate your logical side from your emotional side. That helps you accurately look at the pros and the cons. Right? It's just a little bit of role play in that regard. And so as you do that, as you get those logical things on paper that you can look at, that are less biased by your own emotions, now you can start to form a more based opinion that is based on rationale, based on logic, and based on, what makes sense. And now you can drag into it how you feel about things, because sometimes our decisions, they don't always have to be the most logical thing. Sometimes, for example, in business, people can lose a ton of money on something because they really wanted something else beyond that. And those things of what you truly want, for that you need to have the emotional part of you in line with the decision. But this question is going to help you separate the two so that then you can combine them to get to better decisions, and decisions that actually help improve your life. So for the half, it's this question. Take a person that you truly admire. Their way of thinking, how they are, their responsibilities, their core values. Imagine you are that person. What would they do in your situation? Just imagine the person you admire and you look up to. They get implanted in you. They have no control over your body, your every move. They are you. How would they handle the situation? And then from there on, of course, it becomes, if they would do it, why don't I? Because you admire these people for a reason. And so if you're like, you know what? Maybe Gary Vaynerchuk, he would go about it this way. It's probably a good way to start heading in that direction as well. Question number 3, and this is an interesting one. Because in our society, when we are faced with a problem, what are we taught to do? Oh, you gotta do more. Oh, you want to get in shape? Do more exercise. Do more of this. Do more intermittent fasting, right? All of those things. Oh, you want to have a better career. Put in more hours. Do more things beyond just your job description. More. That's what we are taught in order to solve problems. So answer this question instead. What if I can only subtract things from my life to get towards the goal that I want to reach? What if I can only do less, not more? And if that doesn't make any sense, here's what I mean. For example, with exercise, of getting in shape, right? Exercise is going to help you get better physically. However, eating less or cutting out soda, for example, or cutting out alcohol, that's also going to get you towards that goal of getting in shape. So what are the bad habits, the negative influences, and sometimes even the negative people in your life that, when you're going towards this goal, that drag you back towards where you are? What are those influences in your life? This question is going to help you to identify those. And then you can just take your actions based upon that. So if you identify, you know what? Maybe it is like junk food that is really holding me back from getting the body that I want. Cut it the fuck out of your life. Identify what is holding you back and try as best as you can to eliminate those things. Period. That's the fucking process. And by the way, go ahead, subscribe to my channel, give the video a quick thumbs up, because in the near future I'll be giving you a video about how to actually break bad habits, because most people go about it absolutely the wrong way. This approach of just drop it cold turkey doesn't work 99% of the time. And so in that video I'm gonna teach you how this actually works out properly. So with that said, let's move on to question number 4 then. So this question is something that I feel is needed now more than in any period of humanity, any period in time of society. And that is, what if I am 100% wrong about this? Because here's the thing, we have the far left, we have the far right, we have everything in between, and everyone in every argument is arguing like they only know the truth, like their opinion is objective fact. That's how most people argue. But we never stop to think about, what if I'm wrong? Right? We have heated debates. We have people just hating each other because of their opinions. And guess what? Far left, far right, probably the real answer is somewhere here in the middle, right? And so that's the thing. Open yourself up to counter arguments. Open yourself up to, what if I don't have all the answers? What if I don't have all the facts? Especially if you're not living the life that you truly want to live. Because if you exactly knew how to get towards that life that you want to live, you would either be well on your way or you would be there. And the fact that you're not means that there are some things in your line of thinking, in your actions, in the choices that you have made in the past, that is not optimal for getting you towards that goal. So allow a little bit more doubt into your own life. And so if someone tells you, hey, you're this problem over here, you're going about it the wrong way, I will do it like this. Be open to that. Ask yourself, what if I'm wrong about my way of thinking? What if, I'm just misunderstanding things here? And again, that doesn't mean that you're actually wrong. It just means to be open enough for argument and to really find the best solution. So let's go on a little detour that I think is truly important for society today. And that is the following. When you make an argument about something, you better have something to back it up. That is something that the far left especially is extremely bad at. If you make a statement that you feel strongly about, you better have statistics, facts, studies, even sometimes a good analogy and reasoning to back it up. Because so many times I see these videos of arguments where someone makes a very strong statement, and then when asked to elaborate or to give the reasoning for why they feel that way, they just draw a blank. And so in order to get that informed opinion, when you read about something that you care deeply about, I don't care what it is for you, so read it. Read further than the headlines. Because especially in today's society, we are like all of the news outlets, content creators, everyone, and myself is included as well. We write headlines to draw people in. And so sometimes you will get the craziest, most ridiculous, most emotion-evoking headlines possible. And so you need to be the person who reads below that and to get the more nuanced point of view. From there on, what I would recommend is look on the opinions on the extremist on one side. Look at the opinions of the extremist on the other side. And then look if there's any scientific studies done in the middle ground. Look if there's any people who are like, you know what? This part from the left is right. This part from the right is correct. Like, do your research and form your opinion on both the left, the right, the middle, the center, I don't care. Form your opinions based on your own research. Don't just blindly take headlines and spit them out in an argument as fact. And so this question again, what if I'm 100% wrong about this, helps you make that more objective argument, that rationale. It helps you to really become more balanced in your knowledge, in your understanding of the world, and it's gonna help you move forward in life and make better decisions. So number 5, will this matter to me in 10 years? Because most people major in minor things. I heard that quote the other day somewhere. I can't remember who said it, but that's the thing. So many people are worried about so many things that won't even matter next week or next month. People get upset about the tiniest things. So sometimes when I'm walking around or I'm driving or I'm somewhere and I'm just looking around, I see people in their cars just raging because someone got in front of them at the traffic light. Like, how sad, how pathetic does your life have to be to truly get emotional, to get that worked up about something so tiny? It's not even gonna matter in 10 minutes. And people get worked up about it. So start worrying about your own health so that you will be there healthily in 10 years. Start worrying about your friends and the group of people you hang around with. Start worrying about your family and maybe even starting one or being part of one, right? Start worrying about your career and where you truly see yourself end up in 10 years. Combine that with the question of how can you do that not in 10 years but in 3, right? These all come together to help you really navigate life. So start thinking about the things that actually matter. Start taking on bigger problems. Because people like that, like I said in that example of just road rage, or people just worrying about these tiny things that won't matter next week, that's a sign that you have nothing more important going on. So for example, take Elon Musk. Just the other day, there was another rocket that blew up in their tests. That's just hundreds of millions of dollars just going up, poof, in smoke. And he's like, yeah, we kind of expected that. And he's moving forward. That's a huge fucking problem. Any big time entrepreneur has payroll to fix. He has people to he's responsible for, or she, right? And so those are bigger problems. And life gets better when you solve bigger and better problems. So stop thinking so much about the mundane, about the things that won't matter in a month from now, or 2 months from now, or 3 months from now, right? Start thinking about the things that truly matter, truly move your life forward. And if the answer to this question, will this matter in 10 years, or in 5 years even? If the answer to that is no, then it doesn't deserve 5 minutes or 10 minutes of your time today. Focus on what truly matters. Then the final question is, how did I do today? How did I do today? And that's an evaluation to really figure out, am I on the right track here? Because you can make all of the decisions about your life that you want to make. But if your actions are not in congruence with where you want to go, if you set a goal of getting in shape, but then you skip the gym and then you eat junk food, you're not actually gonna get there. So success in life equals choices, meaning the direction that you take, backed up with consistent effort, backed up with discipline, backed up with the right things on a day-to-day basis. And so that question, ask yourself that before you go to bed. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 of how good was I with the people I care about? How productive have I been? How did I do in terms of my health? Did I reach my goals for my fitness, for example? Right? Ask yourself these kinds of questions. And as you do, now you're like, you know what? I was a 5 today. So what do I need to do to step it up to become a 7 or an 8 or a 9 or a 10 out of 10 tomorrow? Ask these kinds of questions from yourself, because what gets measured gets improved. If you never take a look at your own actions, your own behavior, and the things you do on a day-to-day basis, how are you going to improve the way you work? The answer is you're not. And so keep that question in mind and ask it of yourself every single day at the end of your day. Did I do good today? And actually, that's the question I want to ask you as well. Did I do good today in this video? If you liked it, go ahead, give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, because there's gonna be way more content coming up that's gonna help you make those better decisions and you take your life to that next level. So go ahead, give this video a quick thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.